Okay, so today I'm going to show you some Excel uses and functions that expedite work at a business. Um, Excel is the most common spreadsheet software used by businesses. It can be used for almost anything from CRM to leads lists or even just as a database to store documents or data. Um, because of its popularity, I decided to teach myself some useful tips and functions of Excel. Uh, so let's look at our chart for our imaginary business. We have our products, the price per unit, how much it costs to produce each unit, how many units we produce, and the number of orders. This is great because Excel does all the calculations for us, which means we don't have to do any of that through formulas. So if we want to look at our production cost here, which is how much it costs per unit and how many units we have produced, I use this formula, D3 times E3, which is these two cells multiplied together, and which comes out to be $105,000. And then by clicking and dragging this formula into each of these cells, it will do the same calculation over and over again for us. So we don't have to do any of that. And for profit, which is how much we make from units produced or number of orders times price per unit, and then I also subtract the production cost. So for that, I would use the multiplication formula in addition to the subtraction formula to get our net profit or our gross profit. And if I wanted to see how much profit we would be making in total, I can enter another formula, which would be the sum formula. So I would equal sum, and then I would highlight all the cells I wanted added, which would be this entire column, and then just close the parentheses, and this is how much money we would make in total minus our production cost. This is really cool too, but let's just say we have too many orders, like instead of 2,900 orders, we have 3,100 orders. So, and then we have this message overshipped. So this is another formula I learned. It's the if formula. So if the number of orders is greater than the units produced, it will say overshipped. But if it isn't, it will do the formula, or it'll do the equation of number of orders times price per unit minus the production cost. So this is super helpful when you need to balance your book or balance your workbook. It'll do all the calculations for you as long as you can figure out the formulas and functions that you need to implement. Alright, next I'm going to create a tool to quickly find data in a large set of numbers. Here I have how well the products sold in each region, regions 1 to 7 and products A through M. So let's say I want to find out where a certain product is in the spreadsheet. So products are on rows, so we're going to use match to figure this out. You can think of it as kind of as longitude, because we're searching up and down to find which row this is in. So we're going to use a match formula, which we call it on, and then we pick on which cell we want to use. So this is the cell we're going to be looking for, and we say let's look for product E. Which row is that on? And it says it's on row 6, so we can go down to row 6. There it is. We can also use it to find columns as well. This could be like latitude, I guess. And it's the same formula. We just choose to pick this entire row out here for the match formula to search through. If we say E, let's look for region 4. It'll tell us it's in column 5. So next we want, well, now that we have that, we can kind of think of longitude, latitude. Where they meet is how index finds things, which the next formula we're going to be looking at. So if, let's say I want to know how much we made, how much product E made in region 4, we can use the index formula. So index, this is the array, which is B2 to I15, which is our entire table. Then we can input our row number and then column number. So our row number is 6, which is product E, and then we want region 4, which is column 5. And it will tell us product E in region 4 made $24,242. So region 4, product E, that's and 24,242, which is amazing. But we can make this even faster. By combining the two, we can make a large formula which will quickly find everything that we need. So here we go. So we have the same formulas for both latitude and longitude, or column and row here. And then, but here we got a little bit longer formula. So we have the index entry, and then our array, which is the entire spreadsheet. And then our first column, or latitude, will match what is in column D14, which is this one. And then the next part of the formula will match what's in this cell. So these two, whatever's in these two cells will match, and then it will index what's in between them. So those are the coordinates. It's basically finding what's in the coordinates that we put in. So we can do product C in region 6, and it will automatically update to what it is. It also tells us what row it's in and which column it is in. And if we look, product C in region 6 is 87,463, and that's what our little formula pulled up. So this is a super helpful way to navigate your spreadsheets without having to scroll individually through. Let's say we have a long database and I need to find a certain value pertaining to a code. Maybe it's a catalog of items, or a list of employees, or car listings. For this example, we'll use our imaginary employee list. Well, when we look at our employee list, we have their ID number, their name, their department, salary, date of hire, and their location. So let's say we need to look someone up in our database, but the only thing we have is their ID number. Some companies have hundreds of employees, some have like 10. Our employee list has about 20 people on it. So if we wanted to find someone with just an ID number, let's say 145935, there's a function for that. It's the Vlookup. There's also HLOOKUP, but Vlookup goes up and down, or vertical, and horizontal lookup goes side to side. So let's use Vlookup here. So we're going to enter our formula, Vlookup, and our lookup value is this number here. So we'll select the cell, and then the table array is all the numbers here, or all the info here. So since the Vlookup, I'll click on all our columns. And then the column index number is which column the Vlookup is going to look through. Since we're looking for a name, we'll put in 2 because it's the second column. And then we'll type in false because we want an exact value, or exact match. And there we go. It pulls up Jordan Sharp. And if we look down, Jordan Sharp is 145935. Now we don't only have to use Vlookup for a name. We can also use it to find the department, regardless of what their name is. So we have here 701458. And we want to know what department 701458 works in. So we use the same formula, Vlookup, and then this cell, and the array, which is this column to this column, and the column index number. This time the department is in the third column, so we'll put in a 3 and false. Oops. And boom, sales. So 701458 works in sales. And if we scroll down, they are right here, working in sales. So that's how you can use Vlookup to quickly find something, a specific piece of data in a large database. Alright, before I was using Excel to help me quickly find data in a spread. Next, I'm going to use Excel to organize and interpret data. Here is a table of some products with various details, like the product series, the product model, its color, its cost, and its price. I could use a series of formula to figure out how much of each project I have. Like I could subtract the cost from the price to find out how much money I'd make from it. Or I could use a pivot table to organize all this data for me. So first I'll select this cell to let Excel know where I want to put my pivot table. And then I'll insert a pivot table and select this entire range for it to be put in. And we'll put it on the same worksheet as well. And here we go. It's empty now, but that's because we can choose what goes onto this pivot table. We can choose what goes in the row and what goes in the columns, and it will sort everything out by itself. So let's put the product series in the columns. Rows. And here all our products are out. And let's say I wanted to know which product I have in which color. We can add column to the rows, or add color to the rows, and we can see which color of each product I have. So I have a blue, purple, and red product A, and I have a green and red product D. And now if I wanted to see how much each one costs, I can put the cost into the column. And here, they're all out here. And we can also move the cost into values, which will give us an even more compact spread of what we have. So blue product A costs 165, purple costs 654, and it also adds it for us too. So all product A costs is 1,178. We could also change this out to how much, what their price tag is. So we can see how much we make if we sold all of the products. We could put both cost and price on the same chart right here, so we can instantly compare how much they're together, or how much each one is respectively. We can also put on product model as well into our columns, and we can get a nice spread of all the numbers that we have. Or we can put product model under rows, and we could get an even more accurate depiction of what we have, and it's easier to read. So since with the version of Excel I'm using, I don't have all of the functions of a paid account. So for instance, I can't add my own custom field to the pivot table, so I can't average or I can't add anything. But that's okay, because I still know how to use the pivot table and other things I can do with it. So even though I can't do all those things, the pivot table is still an incredibly useful tool for organizing large spreads of data. Well, wrapping things up, I really enjoyed learning about Excel. The last time I learned about spreadsheets was in a 7th grade computer class. Teaching myself all these really cool features of a program I rarely ever use was honestly a lot of fun. These skills are pretty useful for my own personal life. I can start using Excel to keep track of my own finances or log repairs for my car. While I am still limited by the version of Excel I have, I'm still going to keep learning skills and documenting them.